Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, and as you can see, it's time for the big one of Eurovision 2022 so far. Yes, it is the turn of Italy to be reviewed by me. They are, of course, this year's host nation after winning last year, and usually I like sort of dressing kind of classy when I review Italy's songs, because Italy's songs are usually classy, and this year is no exception, but, I mean, well, the song is called Brividi, which is Italian. It means shivers or chills. The whole song is in Italian. Performed by Riccardo Blanco Fabbriconi and Alessandro Mahmood. And you might recognise Mahmood because he represented Italy in 2019 with the song Soldi. And he came second with it, and he dressed kind of like... Well, it's not really smart casual, it's just kind of, just kind of chill. And I thought I would follow suit. So, yep, Mahmood is back, and this time he's brought a friend. And music by Michelangelo, or Michele Zocca, as well as Mahmood and Blanco, and lyrics by Mahmood and Blanco. So, all eyes would very rightly be on this one, partly because it's the host entry, and partly because, hey, it's a guy who very nearly won a couple of years ago, so... What do you got, Italy? Are you gonna blow me away? Well, I'll come out of the gate with two honest truths. One, I was afraid that this might have been hyped up just because of the memory of Mahmood's silver medal from 2019. It's still fresh in our minds. But it does seem that this song's quality does stand up well enough on its own, so that's that fear put to bed. Truth number two, I expected to be more moved by this than I am. Of course, I am impressed by Mahmood's range, and Blanco's for that matter, and the overall composition is certainly an intelligent and well-made one, but given all of the pieces in play, and I mean all of the pieces in play, I expected this to really, really blow my mind, and in the end, it was decent, but this kind of feels like damnation by faint praise. The vocals are great, the lyrics have thought and feeling put into them, and the two of them deliver it with chemistry and conviction, but I feel like it's supposed to make me feel real feelings, and it just isn't making that last little click for me. Then again, don't get too angry, because Amar Pelos Deutsch still doesn't do anything for me emotionally either. And look how much that won in 2017. So, my opinion isn't the be-all and end-all here. Plus, of those two songs, not that they're competing, and it's not really a fair comparison, but of those two songs, I enjoy this song substantially more. So, don't take my emotional response, or lack thereof, as a hard and fast judgment or anything just yet. It's not for me, but I recognise quality when I see it. So, depending on where you stand, I think one of two different things will stand out first and foremost with this song. If you're tuned into the language, or you have the subtitles turned on the videos on the Eurovision channel, then you'll be able to see firsthand that the lyrics of this song are, as is standard for Italian music, or so it seems, of an extremely high, classy caliber. It is beautiful stuff in terms of poetic rhetoric, and it very much tells a story of two sides. And it's a duet, so you'd kind of expect two sides. A deeper strength of the lyrical body, though, is how real it feels. Despite the beauty of the words, it doesn't feel like a song that was written to sound pretty. It feels like a genuine, sincere conversation between two lovers who have a problem that they need to overcome together. It's loquacious without sacrificing its plausibility. I think a compelling part of that strength is the second of the two obvious points that you might notice that I mentioned before. Even if you don't speak the language, I would say it's fairly evident that their performances have sincere emotion present throughout. They're not just singing words off a script, they're feeling everything they're singing. It doesn't just read like a conversation, it sounds like one, and one that they have emotional stakes in too. And that makes it all the more effective. The best part is, not a drop of that is absent in the live performance. The emotions, as well as the melody and their immaculate harmonies with each other, all land perfectly on point when performed live, which is no easy thing to do. So, if you buy into this song and its world and its story, you're gonna be hit by it, and hard. Not everyone will, of course, but that's fine too. But, of course, just like every song that competes, there is a flip side to all of this, and I do this for every song so that it's fair, so don't get any silly ideas. First things first, I'm gonna come out swinging here. The people who like this song are going to struggle to accept this, but if you aren't moved by this song, it kind of doesn't have a backup sort of X factor to turn your head. If you don't have an emotional stake in it, or if you don't understand the words or anything like that, you could be completely forgiven for just brushing it off as just another piano ballad. Not everyone is into this sort of thing, whether it be by way of emotional maturity, or just a lack of interest, or in my case, a lack of empathetic connection. Unlike Soldi, not that it's a fair comparison to make, this song doesn't have a moment like that did, or really any kind of novel approach to its instrumentation, and it hardly helps that its superfans will inevitably try to convince you that having no strong opinion means you deserve to be treated like you hate it, or that you're stupid for not getting it. We don't need that kind of ugliness in the audience, thank you very much. Now, aside from all of that, I would also totally understand if you found BLANCO's rap section in the middle H to be, let's say, unpalatable. I think it works, but it does come rather suddenly, and you may feel that that ruins the flow or ambience or otherwise impinges the mood. Is that a word? Impinge? I disagree, but I can see how you'd get to that thought process. So it makes sense, I just don't personally agree with it. If it's any consolation, the second half of that section that comes just after Mahmood's part seems less incongruous to me. Finally, while I find their performance as a duo to be very compelling, I do worry a tiny bit about the Eurovision staging. Because at Sanremo, and I might be completely wrong here, but the impression I got was that BLANCO, most likely without intending to, looked a tiny bit lost on stage until his first set of lines in the song. I could see that being misread by some people as boredom, or not wanting to be there, or thinking he's above it somehow, which might turn some people off from giving the song a chance, and I must reiterate that that is misinterpreting. I doubt it'll be a long-term issue in any case, it's something I noticed, some people may pick up on that. Just throwing that out there. Now, the light the blue touch paper and retire section where I give numbers. It is so hard to score this one, to be honest, mostly because so many people seem to really love this song, and there will inevitably be angry Italian people in the comments who would hate me if I gave it anything less than an 11 out of 10, but I'm giving it a 7, and even then, I feel like on a bad day that could dip down to a 6. Quite simply, this song relies on making an emotional connection with the audience, and while it does seem to succeed there for most people, it doesn't for me, so the me score suffers a bit here. It's pretty, it's well composed, their harmonies are spectacular, I like what the melody does in the refrain, and I believe their chemistry, I'm just not floored by it. Like, yes, it's a performance, so what? That's kind of what my hindbrain is doing. Like, the front of my brain is like, ah yes, I can appreciate quality here, but the back of my brain is like, you know, it's not what I'd go to listen to. Italian music tends to be theatre. I was expecting to feel more emotions towards it than I do, but that isn't the song's fault, and I'm not trying to say that it is. It's not something I'm going to be coming back to personally, but that doesn't mean that you can't. So, technical rating. Lyrics-wise, 2 out of 2. Utter poetry from start to finish, but not in a way that detaches it from the sense of down-to-earth realism within the song. That is, it's beautifully worded, but I still believe it as an actual conversation between lovers, rather than poetry that has been written to be poetry. Music-wise, 2 out of 2. While I do think that it might be lacking something that gives it an undeniable sense of identity, I might just be thinking, well, Soldi had the clap, so why doesn't this have something that makes it stick out like that? I don't know. I do still want to acknowledge that the song is brilliantly written, perfectly mastered, and just generally a very strong, competent composition. Delivery-wise, 2 out of 2, easily. Separately and together, I totally buy their performance. I can believe Mahmood and BLANCO as a couple. I can believe their emotional conflict. And, well, their harmonies and melodies, both live and in the studio, are just spot on. Bravissimo, boys. Staging potential, though. I'm going to err on the side of caution and say 1 out of 2 for now, but that is a very high one, because I fear that this will be very difficult to stage well. I feel safe in assuming that they're going to bring in the diamond bicycles from the lyrics, or at the very least they will have imagery of it. but it will take a fair amount of care to ensure that that doesn't come across as gimmicky or tonally dissonant from the performance. It will need to be staged with care, it needs to keep attention, but not seem silly or dismissible, but also without being too boring for people who don't latch on to the emotional side of it. There's a lot to juggle here, and they may struggle, but it's Italy, they may also impress us, so that's why it's a tentative one, could go up. Appeal-wise, the stans aren't going to want to hear this, but 1 out of 2. The simple truth is, this song, this sort of song, it relies on making an emotional connection, and it doesn't make that emotional connection with everyone. It's not an instant you hear it and you're in love with them or anything like that. For some people it is, but not for everyone. For people who are hit by it, they're hit hard, but for people left out in the cold, they're really left out in the cold, and the fans who like the song make it even harder to get back in. Not trying to drop any hints about maybe treating people and their opinions like actual human beings or anything. Anyway, that's a technical score of 8 altogether for a grand total of 15 when added to my personal score. So, well done, Italy, that's still a good score. Now let's zoom out a little bit. Bigger picture with Italy. I mean, the song was chosen via Sanremo, so nothing has changed between this year and previous years, and that's fine. It's the same format that's worked for them for more or less the last 10 years as far as the modern contest is concerned, and it has yet to steer them into a bad result. There is a part of me that wonders if this fared so well in that because of the enduring memory of Mahmood's previous victory, but I choose to believe that the Sanremo jury has more integrity than to vote purely on the basis of hype. That's the sort of brand security that an institution like Sanremo provides, after all, so I have confidence there. But would this qualify if it needed to? Based on public reception so far, yeah, this would be a guaranteed finalist, even if you took away the security blankets that are Italy's status as a Big Five member, and the host nation of this year. Like, you would have to disqualify them 3 times before they even leave the top 10. So, yeah. That being said, there is a doubt in the corner of my mind that says, well, if Montenegro sent a song like this, would it get even half the same level of hype? And the answer to that is, I don't know. Of course, I don't intend to throw shade any which direction by any means, I don't see what other people see in this song. Whatever it is that they do see, I know it's there, because other people are out here seeing it and enjoying it. I just don't experience it firsthand myself. I've heard murmurs suggesting that this might bring Italy a double win after last year, and just like last year, I'm going to say that it is much too early to make that kind of call. I wouldn't choose it as the winner for myself if it were 100% up to me, but it would rate highly because it's a quality song. But that's the joy of it. It's not 100% up to me or anyone. That's, the beauty of opinion have. So, what do you lovely people think? And I'm asking for your opinion on the song, not your opinion on my opinion or anyone else's. Be nice, people will disagree with you, that's just life. Song, listen for yourself, it's in the video description, it's in the iCard. Think for yourself, and don't bully people who disagree with you. So, to Mahmood and Blanco, I wish you the very best of luck on home soil. You've given everyone else Brividi, and I respect that. I think you will surprise us, astonish us, and amaze us, and good for you!